Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and the Washington football team falls to 2-4 on the season after losing 31-13 to the Kansas City Chiefs. A very, very disappointing second half to the game. We'll talk about it, recapping the game, and talk about the main takeaways from today's game. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Hit that like button and turn on those notifications, and check out WinView, link in the description. Let's get right into this recap. Okay, so let's start off with the defense. So they allowed 31 points to the Chiefs, one of the best offenses in the NFL. It isn't that, terrible, but I think the points they allowed is a little bit misleading. I think they allowed over 500 yards of offense, and we got lucky with some of the, turnovers. In the red zone, Tyreek Hill dropped a pass, which led to a turnover, and, Mahomes just made a terrible decision right before halftime, which, they would have at least gotten 3 more points. So, the defense was better than they were the last couple weeks considering, the offense they played, but I don't think they played as well as, the 31 points shown. Even 31 points isn't great, but it is a good offense. They allowed, Mahomes was 32 for 47, 397 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was his fault. The other was Tyreek Hill's fault. Run defense was okay. 28 carries for 3.9 yards, but they did allow, some big runs in there, which was disappointing. But let's talk about, just disappointing. Our corners just aren't playing well, especially tackling. I know, Kendall Fuller had a couple of good tackles, but he also missed a lot of tackles in this game, especially, screens and stuff like that. He missed a couple big tackles, and there was one play in particular with William Jackson. He missed a bunch of tackles as well, where I think Kendall Fuller, this is at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter. I can't remember who caught it. Someone caught it. Kendall Fuller misses the tackle, and then it's third down. And William Jackson has a chance to, tackle the player before he gets to the sticks, past the first down marker. William Jackson basically just waits for him to come to him, and he, pushes him out of bounds, but it's too late. 2 yards after the play. Did not like our, the tackling by our corners at all, especially Kendall Fuller and William Jackson. And both of those guys, especially William Jackson, they had very, very bad games in coverage. William Jackson was getting cooked, and it wasn't really by Tyreek Hill. It was by other guys, Hardman, Robinson. I thought Benjamin St-Juste played pretty well. Not exceptional, but he was going up against Tyreek Hill a few times, and I didn't hear his name called too much, and that's, what you like to see. Not sure how many snaps he played, but I thought he was okay today. I really, really liked how Cole Holcomb played today. I thought him and Chase Young, those two were probably our best defenders in this game. Cole Holcomb had 10 tackles, 1 sack, 1 QB hit, and he also, drew that offensive pass interference. And if Kelsey doesn't make that play, it's a pick 6 by Cole Holcomb. And he also forced a fumble. Cole Holcomb was all over the place today. Really, really good game by him. He was probably our best player today on defense, or him or Chase Young. Both of those guys had good games. We'll go to Chase Young. 3 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and a QB hit. He was solid today. I think he was getting a decent amount of pressure. He's getting double teamed as well. And I thought the rest of our D-line was okay. Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen were both getting some pressure. Montez Sweat, though, didn't see much from him, and he had a costly offsides penalty on third down that, basically gave the Chiefs a touchdown on that possession, because if not, it's a field goal. So that's a 4-point play by Montez Sweat, and really didn't, it didn't seem like he was much of a factor in this game. Didn't have a single tackle, had 1 QB hit, so he was pretty disappointing, I would say. William Jackson, though, he was probably the biggest disappointment on our defense today. Landon Collins was really bad, but that's nothing new. We know how bad Landon Collins is. He, got mossed by 88, who later got hurt, and then he got juked out of his socks. He just got totally juked by, I think it was Kelsey And I mean, he also was on Tyreek Hill for a play. He just got beat all over the place. He was in the box more, which I like, but still, man, he is a liability. You do not want to put him out there in coverage too much. And at this point, like, I don't even want him to play linebacker that much, because even then he's still going to be put in situations where he's covering elite tight ends, and he was on Kelsey too much for me in this game. Cameron Curl was okay. Let's see, Bobby McCain, he had a couple nice plays, wasn't terrible. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's it for the defense. Like I said, they did force turnovers, which is great. Bobby McCain and Kendall Fuller both had interceptions. Kendall Fuller, dropped another interception. So, defense, I wouldn't say the defense is the reason we lost this game, but they definitely weren't great today. So now on to the offense, which very, very, very underwhelming. I thought this was going to be a pretty high scoring game, and the Chiefs scored a decent amount of points, but I thought our offense was going to score a lot, and they just did not. Very disappointing game. They scored 13 points in the first half and scored 0 in the second half. Scored 7 points off of 3 Chiefs turnovers. That's unacceptable. That is just not acceptable. At minimum, you got to score 10 points. At minimum 10 points on 3 turnovers, but probably more like 13 points, a touchdown and 2 field goals, and they just didn't. They didn't do that. Heinicke didn't do anything special, 24 for 39, 182, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. What was surprising to me, he didn't have a single rushing attempt. Like, this is a defense where there's, you can run on them. You can run on them as a quarterback. Mobile quarterbacks have been doing it for a while the last few weeks on the Chiefs, and Heinicke didn't even attempt to, run at all, and there was some chances he could have done that. Also, could add some more rollouts for him to do that. I was disappointed in that. I think, the Chiefs, he could have definitely ran on them to help out this offense. And yeah, I mean, disappointing game from Heinicke. He just wasn't great, sometimes lofting the ball up. And, sometimes the receivers / other pass catchers didn't do him any favors by dropping passes. But some of those, like the ball placement, just isn't great. The one where McLaurin dropped, he definitely should have caught that. But that wasn't great ball placement. Super, super low. That's something that needs to get better on. J.D. McKissic had a great game. J.D. McKissic had a really good game. 8 carries, 45 yards, 5.6 yards per carry. Gibson, man, he had a good day rushing, 10 for 44, but he's got to work on his ball security. I mean, he's had 2 costly fumbles this year. We got lucky because he fumbled right before halftime, gave the Chiefs very, very good field position, but we got lucky that we got a turnover to negate that. But that could have been a very, very costly turnover. He's got to work on that. And something else, he's got to have better hands. I mean, there's just way too many times where he just drops passes that he needs to be able to catch. I mean, he was a receiver in college. We hear that all the time, but I haven't seen great hands from him. His, ability in open field or in the balls in his hands, he's great, but he's got to be able to come down with that, that catch. Patterson had 1 carry for 5 yards. And then receiving, McKissic, 65 yards. He had a great game. Again. He was probably our best offensive player. And another guy I really like today, Ricky Seals-Jones. I mean, 4 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. He was great today, and I really think he is a very, very good tight end too. He's been doing this consistently, looks fluid, and Chris Cooley on Kevin Sheehan's podcast even said that he thinks he's a better playmaker than Logan Thomas. I'm not necessarily agreeing with that, but he has definitely looked good, and I think that he is going to help us once Logan Thomas comes back. De'Ami Brown probably had his best game, 3 catches, 30 yards, got targeted 6 times. He did drop that touchdown. It was a hard catch, but it would have been nice to see him come down with that. McLaurin, 4 catches for 28 yards. And John Bates had his first NFL catch, 1 catch for 7 yards, and he drew that 15-yard penalty. One thing I was disappointed about a lot of things on this offense, but DeAndre Carter was not involved at all, and after a great game against the Saints, I thought, with Curtis Samuel still out, I really thought they were going to use him and involve him in the offense a little bit more. He got targeted once, and I don't even remember that target. Maybe it was Heinicke throwing it away. Just disappointing. I think he should have gotten involved more. And yeah, I mean, DeAndre Carter is an asset that you need to be able to use on offense, and they didn't do that. Didn't really agree with some of the play calls. I mean, when it was 3rd and 1 or something. They threw behind the line of scrimmage, and Adam Humphries is tackled for like a 3 or 4 yard loss. Ball could have been, out a little bit quicker and, a little bit thrown a little bit faster, but still it would have probably been a no gain on the play at best. The play calling wasn't great, and really everything changed after Hopkins missed that field goal. I mean, I believe we were winning 10-13. Hopkins misses that field goal, and then it's 21 unanswered points after that. We don't score at all. They scored 21 points, and it was right after a result of us missing that field goal, or we could have gone for it too. I would have been okay with us going for it or just kicking, and Hopkins missed the easy field goal. I mean, I don't even know what to say about Hopkins at this point. Like, I don't know how you bring him back next year. Like, I don't know how you bring him back to this team next year. I mean, you cannot miss a 40-yard field goal, a 42-yard field goal. That is unacceptable. He did make a 50-yarder, which is great, but you can't be missing field goals like that. And, the Chiefs didn't have great field position, but they did get the ball at the 30 or 33-yard line, and that can't happen. But yeah, I mean, Washington needs to. I know some people really like Heinicke, but we need our answer at quarterback. We need to get a franchise quarterback, and I don't think Heinicke is that guy. So whether it's the draft or it's free agency or via trade, I think we need to get a franchise quarterback, because this offense scoring 13 points against the worst ranked defense in the NFL is unacceptable, and not all of that is on Heinicke. Definitely not. Our run game wasn't great. Although they averaged 4.9 yards per carry, I wish they would have done more, like more than 19 carries, like 25 carries. It was successful, and it seemed like once Gibson fumbled, they really stopped giving him the ball, and then he was hurt after that. And one thing also, like, our offense was not good, of course. I don't want to make excuses, but we have so many injuries on our offense. Logan Thomas, Curtis Samuel, Sam Cosmi, Brandon Sheriff, and Antonio Gibson's banged up. So I hopefully we get our playmakers back, because this offense isn't looking great, and it was against one of the worst defense, the worst defense in the NFL before this game. And yeah, play calling needs to be better by Scott Turner, and just the quarterback play needs to be better. And it's just a lot of things went wrong today, and unfortunate, because I never really felt like we were gonna win the game, especially when we had like our defense forced 3 turnovers, and we were still only winning by 3 points. I really never felt the game was in our hands, but it is what it is. We lost to the better team. They definitely deserve the win. They're 3-3, and we play the Packers next week, and they look very, very good. So it's going to be a tough road for Washington ahead. And yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and make sure to check out WinView. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this game and what it means for the future. Peace.